Hi, my name is Derek Brown, and this is Andrea Jones.
Jones, yes.
And you came up with the reason why you needed to come up and talk to me today, and what is that?
I have some anger issues, especially when I'm driving out here in LA.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
why do you think you become so angry when you're driving?
People are really rude on the road out here. I find myself getting frustrated with their behavior and aggression towards me on the road.
How do you respond?
I respond and I match the anger, and sometimes I take it a little too far. I threw a Snapple bottle at somebody 2 days ago on the
Anything
way
else?
to the post office. No,
Anything?
that's the last incident. It was just they were following me. They were following me on the highway, and he kept yelling at me, and he was like trying to cut me off and like just driving very angry, and it scared me, and I didn't like it. And then I saw a Snapple bottle sitting there, and I threw it out the window at him. It was a glass one. I feel really bad about it, but it's like he was crazy. He was following me like past like two exits. Like, what was he gonna do? Get off at the exit I was on?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really angry, I suppose. I feel like that's more self-defense. Is there like any other serious problems you wanted to talk about?
Mm, no, I mean, so my anger is reasonably fair.
I mean, in that scenario in that scenario that you just described to me, a dude was randomly chasing you, and you just picked up the bottle in self-defense. That's what I see it as.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I like that.
Depends on the
So
state
what
laws.
about, let me ask you this. What about when the barista at Starbucks makes my drink wrong and I cuss her out for it?
That's an anger issues,
But she made my drink wrong.
but it depends on how you responded. If you responded in an angry tone and you cursed her out, that doesn't seem as professional or respectful, does it?
I mean, how hard is it to work at Starbucks to make minimum wage? I don't understand.
Have you tried it?
Have I tried to work at Starbucks? Is that what
Yeah,
you're asking me?
yeah,
Huh?
yes. That's what I'm asking you.
No, I've never worked at Starbucks. I don't work minimum wage jobs.
Well, you don't know how hard it is to make coffee then at a Starbucks capacity.
I mean, it's not hard to memorize the 13 drink menu.
I mean,
It's coffee.
if it's not so hard, maybe you should try getting a part-time job.
I don't need one.
Well, even though you may not need it, but you're still getting to do it for the experience.
No, I don't want experience in my life. I'm good.
Well, I don't understand why you're angry at the Starbucks person because you don't know how stressful their job is.
I'm getting angry right now with you.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Oh, okay.
What are some of your coping skills when you become angry?
I feel a burning sensation like in my ears and rising to my head. So when I feel that, I try to either take a breath and consider the source,
Hmm.
walk away, and then other times I just find myself punching a person in the face. Just depends. Just depends on the day.
Well, I liked all those options besides punching a dude in the face.
I didn't say dude, I said person. Anybody can get it.
Well, I understand that.
I'm an equal opportunist.
Have you considered joining an MMA club?
You know what? That sounds exhausting.
But at least you get to punch people's face in a non-angry manner and get to channel your anger.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be angry enough to punch anybody in the class.
But you never
I have to
know.
be triggered.
But at least you'd be able to understand violence in a aggressive manner and a more relaxed manner. Become more balanced as a person.
I have to exhaust myself to balance myself.
Yes,
Physical exhaustion.
yes, the mind and the physical becomes one.
The thought of that makes me angry because I don't like working out or doing any type of like physical exertion that I don't have to do.
Well, did you play any sports as a kid?
No, I didn't actually. I hated sports. I wasn't on any team sports. I think I did like gymnastics for a little bit, but it didn't last long.
Do you enjoy swimming?
No, I like laying on a floaty with a drink in my hand in a pool.
Do you like biking?
Nope, only when I'm fat and I have to lose weight. But even then, I still like complain about it because I really don't like physical exertion.
What
But
about
I
hiking?
prefer biking when I have to exercise. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. What about hiking?
Okay. Hiking's alright. It depends what's at the end of the path. Sometimes I'm not impressed and it's not worth the exertion on the hike to see the view. And it's kind of like, I could have stayed home and looked at this on Google or something. And then other times you're like, oh, wow, this is amazing. I'm so glad I hiked this like mile or two or whatever. Yeah, just depends. Either way, you're probably going to get a complaint or two out of me.
How often do you go hiking?
Whenever I feel the need to look at something pretty in nature,
Well, why don't you consider going hiking maybe 2 or 3 times a week?
because I have a real job and I don't work at Starbucks. That's why
Why does
I don't have
Starbucks
time.
why does Starbucks have to come back and when we're talking about hiking?
Because you told me to possibly get a Starbucks job to know what it's like to work a minimum wage job or whatever. So that angered me a little bit. So I'm bringing it back up now, telling you why I can't physically exert myself 3 times a week because I'm not a Starbucks barista.
Well, you don't have to experience what they're going through to in order to become a more relaxed person. There's some things in life you have to let go, and some things you have to keep to yourself and think about it.
Sitting by a fire relaxes me.
Have you considered living in a mountainous area?
I lived in a desert with mountain ranges in the background. Does that count?
That counts. That's a sign of an of associate, not associate, but isolation.
I was very isolated.
Do you enjoy being around people or being by yourself?
I like being by myself.
And you live in Los Angeles?
Yes,
So do you think the source of your anger is coming because you live in Los Angeles instead of living in an isolated area?
maybe
So
because people bother me.
maybe you should move.
I can't.
When is your lease up?
Has nothing to do with my lease. It has everything to do with me not being a Starbucks barista. I live out here for money. I have to work. I have to make a living. And when I live in a solitude and in an isolated place, I don't make as much money as I do working amongst people.
As you said, you work from home.
Yeah, but I have to deal with people to work from home. So I have to go like downtown and like I gotta deal with people. I gotta deal with people.
Well, sometimes you don't always have to deal with people. You got to put yourself first. Put a cap on it.
Oh, I want to go back to the desert and start slinging goats again and raising goats and sheep for a living.
Were you
No,
happy?
I don't care. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. It was alright for a little bit, but no, I wasn't happy when I was doing it by myself. I don't want to do it.
Well, then you got to understand and compromise. You want to be around people or you don't want to be around people. What do you want to be?
I'm around people when I'm clocked in, and then I come home and sit by my fireplace in Hollywood.
I see. Well,
Okay.
what would you say you would like to accomplish with like your anger issues?
I want to stop fantasizing about punching people in the face when I'm angry because I know one day I'm going to actually come in contact with my fist to their jaw. I think I need to get a grip on that.
How do you think you're going to get a grip on it? What would you think would be the best option for you?
Go back to isolation in the desert
When do you think that will occur?
when I find a new husband and I can bring him with me so I won't be too lonely.
When are you gonna go on a date again?
I just went on one tonight and it was awful. I came right home to do an interview with you.
Oh, I'm sorry that happened. You gotta keep, you have to keep swimming.
I'm out here.
You gotta keep swimming. It's
I don't
okay.
want to swim. It makes me angry.
Well, maybe you should focus on yourself right now.
I guess so, Derek.
But it's okay. So
Thank you.
basically, so basically, what you came here today was you wanted to basically figure out problems to manage your anger issues
Yes.
and where the source of your anger issues came from.
Yes. But you have opened my eyes to so much more I need improvement on.
I think that we came together and we figured out the source of your anger is coming from living in Los Angeles with a lot of people. There's a lot of
Amongst a lot of people.
and the best way for you to manage your anger is to move out of Los Angeles, maybe, or move out to a less populated area in a surrounding area and work from there, or find an office in Los Angeles and still live in your current area to manage your
Where's the
anger.
most populated place in Los Angeles County that I can move to?
I'm not sure. I'm not a realtor. I'm just a person that's like I'm going to be a therapist, and I just help with your mental problems, not really with your living arrangements. That's a choice that you make, and the choices that we come up together sound like good ideas, and that's the ideas that we go with.
Oh, is the timer up?
Now, in that time, we have possibly at least 30 to 45 more seconds.
Okay, well, since you can't offer me any isolated places in Los Angeles County, I mean, what else is there to talk about? We covered all bases. My anger.
Well, thank you for your time, Miss Jones. I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. That was very enlightening. Thank you.